What are you doing?
Oh my god.
I don't even know what's going on.
Player one. Prepare yourself.
Don't forget to get cards at RitaYanez.com, and so am I. Under your bed.
Turn on the light! Turn on the light!
Hi there, Leo. This is your weekly reading for the week of December 14th through 20th. I hope you're doing well. I hope everything's going your way. I hope you're excited about the holidays. In the very least, it's a good time to be able to spare a little bit of your personal time for other people, maybe some charity causes you like. Maybe your family goes to a soup kitchen or to a center for people that are forgotten, kind of like at the senior citizens, those types of facility homes, places where people are convalescing. You know, they're so ignored. It is so sad. It would just tear your heart up if you knew. These people would really just love to see you. So if your church or some other group association or Boy Scouts, or if you are affiliated with the Civil Air Patrol, something such as this, you could probably spend some time, if you haven't already planned it, to go and say hello, maybe sing some Christmas carols and just be there for people who would love to see your beautiful face. On Monday, the card that you've drawn is the Page of Wands upright. This is great because there's some exciting news that for you guys is going to be more fun than it would be for the adults. They've got a little bit of a tension going on there for those of you that listen to both recordings just out of, creepy curiosity. Mine is morbid curiosity, so I can totally get why you do that. So with you guys, it's not going to be almost so alarming as time goes on, just because they have more tension and stress than you do. Your tension and stress is probably more limited to your schoolwork, the final grades for the end of the semester before the winter break. Also, for those of you who are having to go back and forth between parents, family members, that kind of thing, that would be a little bit of that stress on you too, but it doesn't seem to be as difficult as it is going to be for other people. You guys are actually a lot luckier in that way. So the good news coming to you could be something that you've been hoping to hear about. The only challenge really for you guys is that you could get your hopes way high, hoping that a certain thing will happen a certain way. And then if it doesn't happen that way, you might be a little disappointed. But remember to look at it like this, and you'll be just fine. That if you just stay open to whatever the universe would like you to receive or experience or witness or be a part of, it will bring it to you the easier you are to work with. So you guys are not typically people that get too stubborn, not like a Taurus, which is also a fixed sign similar to you, or like a water fixed sign like me, Scorpio, that, I have a tendency to only want to be doing things a certain way. I get very rigid. Even though you guys are also fixed, I think that what I like about you is that you're more apt to be excited about just about anything that crosses your path. And so you're not so resistant to change as, say, for sure, a Taurus, and very up there, if not in second or neck to neck position would be Scorpio. You guys, I have more faith in that you'll be able to stay open to the different potentials, and that even if you're like, well, I really wanted this thing, these shoes for Christmas, but I totally understand that they're out of budget for my family. You could say, hey, look, how about this? If you want to buy me something that is, your choice, that's fine. Or you can give me a gift card and I'll save it toward this. And so if you stay open to this, there's nothing wrong with getting a $5 gift card to something, because you stack a few of those up and before you know it, you've got $100, and then you can get what you want. Or say you're saving for something bigger ultimately, like, your driver's ed training. Or it's really expensive where I live, and I got 2 kids about to do that. And I am just like scared out of my mind because it's just so expensive out here. But also this could be where you're trying to save it to apply it for a new piece for your wardrobe, or maybe you lift weights and you want this new thing, and maybe you're a bodybuilder anyway and you really are hoping to start a vlog, but you really want a nicer camera or something. You could start off just doing it like the rest of us. If you saw the equipment I use, you would crap your pants. I'm like doing things in such a basic ghetto old school style. You guys would laugh at me, but then you'd see the power of ingenuity, or what we call necessity being the mother of all invention. Well, you could just save up your money until you can get the thing you want. You wouldn't go blow all the money on something you don't want if you're like, well, I can't get that shoe. I'll just take this one. Why not save up to get the one that you want then? And I'm just trying to give you an idea. I'm not saying that that's exactly what you're trying to accomplish, but just think about it. Here, the 9 of Cups in reverse is again saying that same message to you, that you might not get exactly the thing that you're hoping for, or the potential to do an activity that you were hoping you could, or to go somewhere, do something. Whatever this thing is, it's probably related to your 9th house. So it really could be hoping to travel or take a friend with you when you have to visit your dad or your mom, or whatever that situation is, and it's not playing out exactly the way you want it. If you stay fluid and fluent in whatever language the universe wants to speak to you in, you'll see how easy it is to get a better result. And the better sport you become. I mean, look, I really have never met a single Leo prone to the types of temper tantrums that I have seen Sagittarius people have. When they have some kind of a tantrum, it is awful. And then, of course, it depends on a lot of factors about them. So I know that you guys are not the types that are going to kick and pound and scream. You might find a 2-year-old doing that. And even then, what do? We tell the 2-year-old, now. And then we put them in a safe environment so that they don't bonk their heads like my 17-year-old used to do. He spent a short period of time slamming his head against the ground. And I swear to you, he wasn't even 2 years old. And he was like the kid who needed to not do this because he was born with a brain bleed of the worst kind. And I'm like, oh God, so I'd have to hold him while he just had his attack until he'd fall asleep. And I don't know, I will never know why he did that, because well, actually, I do know why, because he is kind of like that. Like, if things don't go a certain way, you should have seen how pissed off he was the other day because he couldn't find a particular piece of paper. And he was finishing his senior paper early so I could understand it. And I'm like, yeah, I guess I could see how that coincided with the over-emotional Cancer rising. But here with the 9 of Cups in reverse, I think that you're going to be just fine, considering also that the Sun is Sagittarius squaring that Jupiter and Virgo, where you could, achieve a higher expectation of what you're hoping. Like, if you tell me, Rita, because what I really want for Christmas are Christian Louboutin shoes. And I'll be like, wow, that's like for most people 2 car payments, most of a mortgage payment, maybe the insurance payment, and so we got to think about this. If you want to do this on your own, you wouldn't put your family through deprivation if you're not from a family that's bankrolled, or something like that. So just keep yourself in check and you'll be fine. Mercury in Capricorn sextile Neptune in Pisces for you guys will actually help you figure out how to communicate these things that we just spoke of, where you might say, hey mom, can you tell everybody that if they want to buy me socks, that's fine. Grandma always does. But, do you think it would be inappropriate for you to kind of say, if they ask you what I want for Christmas, that I'm saving up for something? And then that way, not everybody's comfortable with this because they may have already purchased the gift, or they may not have the budget, and they're kind of embarrassed to just hand you $5 when you'd be like, I'll take them. I want the $5, $5 closer to my Louboutins. But whatever it is that you're doing, you'll see that you'll have a better way of communicating it, especially if you rely on being patient. The impatience could come from Mars in Libra still. And it is challenged by Uranus. I have to say that at least once today. Actually, that's the second time. Uranus in Aries. So we still have an element here until Tuesday of, potentially losing your crap, just getting a little too irritated. And this is not the easiest month for Leo. I was just telling the adults, I know that it's somewhat irritable, volatile, but for them it's going to be, most of it will come from, if they, like the single ones, if they get too overexcited and just got to cross that ocean, or I'm taking the Titanic if I have to go see that person. It's like, wow, that's just kind of like bumping up against the universe if you feel like you met this person 2 minutes ago or 2 hours ago. And that's the only real danger for them. With you guys, it's more just about setting your sights a little high, which is good. Shoot for the moon. if you don't make it or something, you'll land among the stars. You know, that one saying, I can't remember it very well. Do you know what time it is in my world right now? I'm supposed to be in bed because my son's testing at the college tomorrow, but I can't. I just won't. I won't do it. We can love who we want. We can do, I'm not going to sing a stupid song to you. Okay, so here on Wednesday, we've got the Page of Cups, Fish in a Cup. So Page of Cups is again very exciting, very surprising. Fish in a cup would be very exciting for me. I wouldn't drink it though. I might put it in a fish tank, but this is the kind of energy that comes in with a little bit of excitement, joie de vivre, where you're feeling like you're very excited about every day and the magic that it can bring to you. That's exactly what the universe wants to hear from you. Now think of it. If the universe was if it was in some way some kind of breathing, living entity, which we know that Mother Earth, Gaia, is. You know, here we are so parasitic, and then there's people doing crappy shit in the Middle East, but, you know, everywhere, right? There's crazy people just about everywhere. But here we are thinking of it in terms of when I say, yeah, that's the universe, what it wants from you. It's really more about the collective consciousness. So I don't mean to confuse you or to sound like I know I'm talking about something that doesn't exist. I'm just saying that if you think about it in terms of energy, which is always reciprocal for good or bad, you know, for better or worse. So if you put out these positive vibes that look, fish in a cup, I'd love it. I'd rock it like a fish dress, like Lady Gaga and her meat dress. I understand her point, though. And now that the FDA, everybody's just totally, you know, the meat producers, and I'm out in the States where the meat is produced and they're, you know, cramming them full of more antibiotics. I'm like, hell no, I just won't eat it. Give me fish in a cup and I will drink that thing. You could take burpless fish oil pills too. But this is the energy that if you just stay open to surprises, the universe will surprise you. It always works that way. Thursday, we've got the Two of Cups, which is so fantastic. Super fantastic for you, because this means that either you and a good friend or somebody else, some fellow patriot, a boyfriend or girlfriend, you know, you come together on this even Steven kind of keel where you're both feeling good about yourselves and your friendship, that's rock solid. It doesn't have to go crazy. You don't have to plan to buy curtains together. This is just about being, look, if you can't be friends with somebody that you hope to be a romantic partner with one day, you got nothing. You got nothing. There is no creepy soulmate thing. There is no creepy twin flame thing. These are all really great novel ideas to get you to buy something, okay? The truth is that there are many people that are appropriate for us on our lifetimes. People, honestly, are easier in understanding that when we're younger, and we know that in all likelihood, you're not going to marry the high school sweetheart and grow old and ancient together, growing roots on a porch somewhere. It's only because of the fact that we're experiencing so many people all the time. And when you're very young, you're not who you're going to be. Believe it or not, this is true. When you get older, you may find and draw some different personality traits or different features of yourself that you really enjoyed, and you may have to refresh your ever-changing persona with at times, right? We don't want to get stuck in a rut. It's like somebody drawing on those pencil-thin eyebrows from the 70s, and we're like, dude, you don't have to look like that Kim Kardashian look-alike guy that has those crazy blocks, or, you know, the gangbanger Latina types with those. Okay, so, you know, like, it doesn't have to be like that, but this is where really being the essence of the friendship is what is so strong here. So, you know, you could be like, dude, you're like my bro, and you're like, wow, and you're like sister. Yeah, but we have fun together. Let's go bowling today. You know, go with it because it's working for you. And also, we have to keep in mind that sometimes everything does start off just with a handshake or a meeting, or your Bible study or something, and you meet this person like, yeah, they're weird, but in a cool way. And I think I could be cool too. You know what? I want to check out this person's weirdness. And then you find you have a lot in common, but you'd never know it because this person might be like the proverbial bookworm and she's got her face in the books all the time. But then you find out that she's like a total death metal headbanger, and you're like, wow, like she's totally intense, and she gets straight A's and is on honor roll every year. And it's like, see, you know, if you let the universe surprise you, it sure will. Fish in a cup. So on Friday, we've got the Six of Wands in reverse. Don't worry, because it's like that energy of Tuesday where, you know, you might not have things work out exactly the way you want it to, but it still will have a great effect, because even the Six of Wands in reverse is still a really good card. Now, here's when we have the Sun in Sagittarius is squaring the North Node in Virgo. Again, your solar fifth house, which you guys will be stronger about romance and creativity, maybe your siblings, maybe seeing some of your half siblings or step siblings over the holidays as well. And then Virgo, your solar second house, which for you is really going to be about resources. And I know some of you will be feeling like, but I want to buy presents for people. I don't have the money to. Well, sweetheart, can you draw? Can you write words? Can you create haiku? How haiku are you? So there's plenty of things that you could do. My kids, I hold them to this. They are required to draw me pictures, make me cards, and I keep them, and I love it. It's the most important thing to me. I've got the greatest cards from when my kids were so little, things that they did for me like that. There's no way that anything could replace it, but that's what I place my values on. And that's what you guys are there to do. And you're so amazing and energetic and flashy and awesome that I imagine if I gave you a box with beads and a box with string, that you'd come up with some very, very interesting things. And there would be people that would really appreciate the fact more than anything, not that you bought them something, but that you took the extra effort to make them something. There's nothing better than a homemade something. Now, let's say you don't have supplies to do something that you want to do. Maybe there's no ink in the house. Who knows? I don't even have ink in my printer, so we can't print anything. But maybe the reality here is that you want to do something like maybe, your mom is tired at night. She's such a sweetheart and so loving. And there she is in front of the sink. You're like, Mom, just stop. Don't do it. She's like, what are you doing? Stop it. No, Mom, just stop. I will continue from here. And you could actually just surprise her. Be her fish in a cup. Be your dad's fish in a cup. When you go visit him, if they don't live in the same house or whatever works, whatever's going on, since everybody has such an individual situation. Maybe you're at your dad's house and okay, so you know that he can't cook anything more than pizza and then he burns it in the oven. Maybe you cook dinner carefully, only if you know how. And maybe you need supervision and that's okay. Be careful with the sharp knives. Don't use them. Use serrated knives, the ones that have like a bread knife, so that they have more traction in there. Just make sure you're careful. And maybe you do something like clean his bathrooms because they haven't been cleaned in a year or 4. And then you're like doing this and they're like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? You don't have to do this. Get your hand out of the toilet and you're like, but you're still cleaning that toilet and you're doing such a damn good job that you can prepare food on that commode and your dad has tears in his eyes. Why? Because it's not what you're doing. It's the fact that you do it for him. Don't forget that ever, ever, ever. Me and my girlfriends used to just write cards for each other. We had nothing to give each other. I have one friend who actually a Leo, and she used to give me a birthday card every single birthday without fail. And it was such a humble act. At the same time, it did cost some change at the drugstore. Hi, Shauna. To buy those cards for me. But I kept them because they were so important, just knowing that she thought of me, got me the card, and that meant more than the love and affection that she couldn't show because she had a difficult home life, and it's a long story. She couldn't show it. But the card meant everything to me. Don't forget that. There on Saturday, we have the 8 of Cups in reverse. So it could be that there are some plans within your family that are set to go and then they don't go. They're going to launch and they don't. Rocket boosters fail. And where are we going? We're sitting still here with our monkeys and lunches. So there could be an element of back and forth. And it could be maybe that you within your friendship circles thought that you were going to be able to have like a holiday party of your own where you're going to play video games or very annoying music sounds, and you're going to eat junk food until one of you pukes, which is great and apparently amazing. And so maybe those things change. It could be that you were going to do it at your house, but then you're going to go do it at a friend's house, and then it goes back to your house or vice versa. You can imagine that. Also, when we have Mercury conjunct Pluto and Capricorn, we got to keep in mind that that is your solar 6th house. So again, don't overcommit. If there's something that you say like, oh yeah, it's cool, we'll totally have the party and invite 48 people that we don't know and 3 people that don't speak English plus all of their cousins and their uncles. And then your mother is like, what did you? No, it can't happen. You're like, oh my God, Mom, please. Maybe you could make some kind of a concession where if it isn't too cold where you live, where you can clear out the garage if you have one. Or a space, and that you make it a potluck so everybody has to bring something. And no, not everybody can bring Doritos and Mountain Dew. And I am not pimping because they don't pay me. I'm just saying, look, you got to be organized with this, and you guys are really good at organizing what other people do. So just remember not to overcommit without getting permission, because that's something that could happen. And then on Sunday, we've got the 2 of Pentacles in reverse, which is just reminding you to make sure that you don't, again, overcommit, get yourself tired, or that really, honestly, if you have to go to 50 different people's houses, because of your family might have been the way that mine was, where I had to go see my mom and her horrible husband, and that was a nightmare. I'd make it short. Go to my dad, who I adored, and his, introverted wife, but I had to be there because nobody else would come, so it was going to be me most likely. And then if not, it was then I had to go down to the next town and take my stepkids to their mother, which thank God they lived with her mother. And so that was, it was so freaking crazy. I would never wish this on anybody. So like, if you feel like you need a power nap, you take one. You say, hey, look, I'm really tired. Can I go lay down? If they're like, no, you can't do it because mother-in-law's a wretch. And you're like, Mom, I have to sleep. Try to, do whatever works without getting in trouble or, making anybody uncomfortable. But you may need a power nap here, Leo. And if you do, that's just fine, because you guys are so energetic and amazing and, gotta roar all the time, which is great to hear you. Have you ever actually heard a lion roar for real? I'm telling you, the loudest one I ever heard was at the Boise Zoo in Idaho. And I think I have it recorded somewhere. I know I did. And this thing was so loud that I felt it in my lungs. It was so loud. He was so amazing. And I was thinking to myself, I think he'd love to be out on a savanna somewhere, or just in some preserve where no crazy dentist, arranged I hate that crap. Remember what happened to that lion? It was really because of the way it was arranged. But I'm like, we're not that primitive, okay? I don't think you're a badass if you've got something dead on your wall. I think it's actually kind of sick, and I don't like you, and I want to take it and free it, even though I know it's dead, really. I just want to free it. But just, have you ever heard that? Google that sometime to see if you can get somebody with a really good audio take on what a lion sounds like, because that's what you guys sound like when you walk into the room for the party. Just remember, don't overcommit, and you won't have your mother go crazy.
Over.